What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream. We're back in our Gas Course project, a game built from scratch, of course, using Unreal Engine 5, Blueprint, C++, the gameplay ability system plugin, and all of that good stuff. So, last time we were working more on the high-level design of stuff, and we're going to keep working on design, outer loops and inner loops and all that kind of good stuff. But today I wanted to jump back into the engine and start making more progress within the actual prototype itself. And so, what I want to do today, at least, is we have the ability to enter and exit, quote unquote, the UI we want to use, right? And I want to replace what we have on the bottom, right? Because on the bottom is where we have our quote unquote cards, and then you can play them and execute them. I want to move that all within like its own kind of separate UI for when you press this, it goes like freezes time, and then the UI pops in, you'll see your cards, you can cycle through them, play them, and all that stuff. So we're going to make as much progress as we can with that today. So let's first start with removing the card UI by default. So I think that happens probably in the player controller. Somewhere in here, I forget where we implemented it, so let's just jump in. Okay, we got some bots on Kick, so that's nice. Hopefully my Twitch, or I'm sorry, my Kick will actually stream consistently. Like, it still breaks up every once in a while, so if you're watching Kick, sorry, I don't know what's going on. But Twitch seems to be pretty stable. So yeah, let's see where we're adding our UI. Because I think maybe it's in our main game hub UI. So here's our HUD. And I believe we're adding it here. Pop back out. Yeah, so current hand, right? So probably not what we want. I'm curious how we should maybe handle this like UI itself, because we have some ideas. Like, it could possibly look like your typical kind of Yu-Gi-Oh deck kind of situation. But we have references to like how we would want to possibly have some of the vignette, and kind of see how it might want to look, and what we would need to display. You would see your cards, see what is currently active, what's not. We'd have to dig in further on what that UI would look like, but for the sake of getting some prototype in, right now I think it just matters about what card you have, or what cards you've activated, and things like that. So let's start with, so here's main. So I'm gonna add a new one, and I'll say, I don't know how even to call this, like card field. And then it would be user widget, blueprint, user widget, WPP underscore card field main, I suppose. And this is kind of the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, right? So this is going to hold everything. So we need a canvas panel. And I believe in this main thing, this is where we can also do our, I don't know, I think a vignette is handled mostly in camera post-processing, so I don't know if I want to do explicitly some vignette. Maybe I do. But we could potentially do like an image and make a white image and just make it dark. The vignette can actually just be a specific kind of image, like an alpha masked image. We can also see if we can find anything like that online. But for example, you could have a full image. We would make it black, and then with a small alpha or something, we call it background. I'll make that a variable, and then we could also introduce the blur. can make this huge. Oops. And then blur strength, I don't know what would make sense, but we could already kind of see what this might look like. I don't know if like should the card field main always kind of be there, or because I don't want to add and remove it every single time. That might be an unnecessary expensive thing to have to instantiate it again. And I would want to save the states within it, so it would make sense just to kind of hide or unhide it. So I think that's how we're going to handle it. So it's going to be our main HUD, right? So we can get card field. And we don't want it to be visible. So we're going to say hidden. I wonder if I could do desired. Or custom on screen. I don't know what it should be, honestly. Let's just do fill screen again. Got you size the content. I don't know what that's gonna look like. Let's just let's make it visible by default. So no hit testable. Just so it will show up on screen immediately. Okay, so it doesn't really show up on screen immediately. Just fine. For some reason it's like a different size, right? No, let's just for the sake of argument, that's kind of what the blur would look like. When the card UI is up. I don't know why it's not the full screen, but it doesn't look the best. So it was just offset a little bit too much. So maybe the background could be like 0.6 and the blur could be maybe like 10 or something. I feel like a vignette makes a lot of sense. It's like maybe with the vignette, like can kind of, and the screen shake kind of. Well, I mean, the game's gonna be paused, so we don't really care that if you do this, you'll see like the edges kind of fuck up on the sides. That probably doesn't really matter. So maybe we could find like a good kind of vignette alpha mask. So vignette. I don't know how to spell that. I think I'm spelling that wrong. Vignette, alpha mask, texture, image. I guess I could just show this screen. So yeah, maybe something like that could work. But yeah, it's a WMVP. So we're not really getting the best. This is probably also the same website, I think, right? I mean, it says royalty free. Am I able to grab it? I mean, no. All Shutterstock. I don't really have. It's a JPEG. So vignette alpha mask, PNG. Not sure how I should get like the best photo for this, you know. Yeah, I don't think do I have GIMP or anything? Not FIMP, GIMP. No, I don't really have any software to help me here. There's a video, awesome vignettes in under 3 minutes. Check that out.
Insider.com, and today I want to show you a flash tutorial on how you can make awesome vignettes like this. Here's your before, here's your after, in under 3 minutes. I've got a lot to teach you, so let's go. You can make awesome vignettes like this. Here's your before, here's your after, in under 3 minutes. I've got a lot to teach you, so let's go.
Okay.
They're powerful in that you can directly hold. First thing, black is not there. Go ahead and haven't used that down to about 10 years.
What need to get? I don't have Photoshop. I don't think I'm not paying for Photoshop. I don't know. Can you make vignettes in any kind of 3D software? I'll have to. I think I should just look into it at a different time. I'll just work with what we got. So maybe there could be like an in and out animation kind of thing, where hey Kuro Pebbles, how you doing? How's it going? You know, it's going. Working on some UI stuff. I'm wondering what would look potentially best. Maybe this is okay for now. Like I said, I would like to have some sort of vignette instead of like an explicit just like default image. Maybe I have some texture I can use already. I don't know. Can I do it by texture? What do I got? I have white hole. Maybe white circle. So that's what it would look like. Yeah, but I don't think it's correctly doing what I would expect it to do. Image size, yeah. Oh wait, I saw your vids on the targeting system. Oh, cool. I hope you enjoyed them. Yeah, so I think we'll just deal with, maybe it could be like a rounded box. Oh, no. Border? No. Just draw it as image. Do 0.5 for now. Super helpful. I'm glad. I'm thinking of doing another tutorial on choosers, like chooser tables and how they work. It's a relatively new plugin. I think it's not enabled by default, but it's super good. Thinking about making a tutorial for that at some point. Hope. But yeah, let's make. I don't know how. I don't work in widget blueprints that much anymore. What do I have to wrap stuff with to be together? Maybe like an overlay. Oh no. I wrap this with an overlay. And also this. And then I make this thing huge. Oh. Keep pressing wrong buttons. So you can say background. overlay. So now I'm hoping with this animation, we can say, you know, enter card field. And we can take, add background overlay. This do, I would assume, render opacity and just get, you know, do 0 to 1. Buongiorno, Casper. How are you doing? Yeah, it's time for some UI stuff. We're gonna start trying to prototype our card in our card field kind of situation based on some of the high level designs that we're working with. So let's start. Whoops, animation. So we're doing opacity. So we're entering the field. We're gonna say 1. And then probably super quick. Like that 1. Like that. So it goes like 2. And I assume, or at least I hope, that will work. Good luck then, you will need it. True. Yeah, so animations, we don't need anything selected anymore. Just to confirm, it's still, okay, so it's in the corner. Okay. So card main, why is it in the corner? What did I do wrong? Gotta do that. So yeah, what I'm hoping I could do is, you know, by default, make it hidden. And I'd have to invoke something that's not construct, event construct kind of thing. I'd have to tell it to open kind of thing. So custom event for now. So open card field. And from there, we would get our animation, enter card field, play animation, forward. I think that's fine, number of times to play, yeah, all good. We're going to need a new one as well for exit card field. And we just play that one in reverse. I say play reverse. Should be enough to get the point across at the moment. Hey, Shrill Duck, how you doing? I need to find out how to make a start menu. I mean, there's some good tutorials out there on how to make a start menu. It just depends on how modular you want to make it. But there's some good resources out there, honestly. Okay, so now we have our card field, right? And we have some logic here that's temporary. But this is where we would invoke our field UI. So we would grab this, we would get card field, and we say enter card. No, what's the name of my event? Open card field. I like that we can use view models, but the docs aren't that great. Yeah, for sure. Like, I still get confused sometimes with view models. Like, I use view models for, like, the enemy health bar. I don't know if I even do it from... I hope I do it from my health bar, too. I can't remember. They're super useful, though. So let's see if what I did worked. I press this, I enter, and nothing happens. Classic. Let's just confirm. We get here. Yes. So the animation doesn't really do anything. So let's look. Animations. So it looks like it should do something. Oh, I know why. I'm still hiding it. Yeah, I'm using the motion matching example from the gameplay example there. I'm gonna have to update it with new animations that I found. But what's cool about motion matching and the post search data and stuff, you can kind of just drop a bunch of shit in there, and it figures it out for you. So that's pretty cool. Hey, Maya Holden from Kick, how you doing? I hope the Kick stream is actually surviving and actually streaming, because it feels very unstable. So apologies if the stream is kicking in and out. No pun intended with that one. But yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. So yeah, in our card main, when we do enter field, I have to double check because we are saying card field as a whole is hidden. So I think I should be able to say in here. So yeah, let's deselect our animation so we don't confuse ourselves. There should just be a blanket like set visibility, right? And we'll do no hit testable, and that should be okay. Yeah, I love it. I went through and rewrote Gasp in C++. It was worth it. What were some of the nuances that you learned while doing that? What do you think is like the most important gains that you got from it? Was it just for learning, or did you see improvements, I guess, I was assuming performance, or you can more easily extend it, I suppose? So I'm going to do that. Okay, perfect. Could be faster, I don't know. So now should be able to have a callback here. Should be able to do something on this delegate, right? It's a handle structure. Oh, I should be able to do it here. So assign or on finish, bind to animation finished. Should then be able to say that it's hidden again. So we do that, bam. Okay, so it doesn't really. Oh yeah, we gotta tell it to exit card field, right? This. More sensible, about 5 to 20. Well, I mean, 20% faster is pretty good, honestly. And it was a good learning experience. So, I mean, what parts had to be moved into C++? Because I know, was it a lot of the animation blueprint stuff, or was it? I'm trying to remember. Because you have like the retargeted characters, and there's a lot of stuff happening in the character blueprint. Where, you were determining, the gating and the what's the word? I guess just states, and I think that was done on tick or something like that. Blueprint opening up that. Goes from sandbox character, and there's all this stuff. I'm assuming this was like moved to C++, maybe? Is that maybe that's probably just part of it, So let's see if we can now add up face anim BP. I think it's because I loaded in a blueprint here. I don't care. That's fine. Plane editor. We do that, and then we do that. Yep. So it seems like I have to like unbind it. Unbind. Oh, because I feel like it's binding and just setting it invisible again by default. So you go like that, and then the cards would come up, and then you go like that to kind of play them. We would have to add potentially fancy animations at a certain point, but here there would be like, you know, your current hand. Maybe we would anchor it at the bottom. Then it's like 300 or something. Oops. Minus 300. Maybe cards could be somewhere around there. So you open them up, and then yeah, then you have your cards. Yeah. Honestly, I gotta work on the cards themselves. I might have to like pop in an IMC. I'm not sure how good that's gonna look. But yeah, it would be good to oops. Put in a couple of oh, we got crash. Okay. Oh my god. Let's grab current hand. Hey, thanks for the subscription there on YouTube. It's much appreciated. The name Bahari Plaster Mystery. Thank you very much. So let's add a couple of cards. Just to see what they look like. So I have to somehow like center it better. So for now, let's just center it like that. And then we have to look at the card template. Because like obviously the text is not really moving along with everything. And it's the card background that we're moving and not the, I guess, the overlay. Wanted to keep everything fast and thread safe. I used Elements and Proxy to reduce costs and give some performance improvements. I redid the tracing for traversal, most of the performance gains, and I have a custom movement modes that were painful to implement in BP. Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, it definitely sounds like you gave it a major overhaul. Can I... Can't really replace this with anything, right? So I would kind of have to copy this with the add. I mean, how much am I moving it up by? Minus 100, right? So let's just do that. Add slot. I'll rename this to card container. Should be able to do transform. That. Not really seem like drawing anything though. Oh, there you go. We said here it was what, minus 100? Yeah, so it's still doing the same thing. Okay, I'm doing card background again. Why? Why am I why am I messing that up? Card container. Thank you. Transform. Thank you. Translation. Thank you. That. So yeah. So you'll see. Select a card. Goes like that. Potentially can be faster. Yeah, things probably should move faster and maybe go a little higher, right? Oops, minus 150. Track that. It's mostly copy paste of the BP except for the tracing. Yeah, I mean, it's still good practice. That's how I learned a little bit more how to code, you know? Just copy and paste blueprint logic. Or transcribe it, however you would want to name it. Yeah, you got your cards. I see. We're gonna remove the text block ones. Yeah, I would definitely need. Yeah, animating UI is rough. No, I can just do. I can only try my best. So boom, 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 boom. Look at it. I think that's flashy enough, and at least the text moves along with it. But yeah, I think I would want to introduce a different IMC for this state, because right now I'm using the thumbstick and stuff, and probably not necessary. This is when I was trying to do it in real time without some separate UI. Yeah, probably fading out can be faster as well. Things have to go a little faster than you anticipate. So we'll just go twice as fast. Go boom, boom, boom. And you're back. Then you go bam. Check your cards. Activate them. Maybe every time you open this up or after. Yeah, I think how it should work is you have X amount of points to spend on cards. Again, yeah, the motion warping is offsetting me in weird ways. I don't know what's wrong with that. I should be forward, but it's moving me to the left a little bit. I'll have to figure that out because that's bugging me. So what I know as well is each card will have kind of cost. I have to make sure that these card templates, when they're added, I have to offset them. There's a lot of blueprint logic for how the cards are added and how they're manipulated. That's, I'm sure, going to be a very messy blueprint at some point down the line. But we'll see. Because now, yeah, you see like the motion warping is not broken anymore, but it's like that. I also wonder how fancy the animation should be at whatever point. But I gotta figure out like the sizes of cards, because yeah, card container, it's one size, and then you have the card background, and that's a certain size, like 256 by 256. I don't know. Can it be like, 192 by 256 instead? Like, I don't know. I don't know why that card is bigger than the. Oh, it's because of the text. But yeah, I'm not a UI artist, so wish me luck. Are you using motion warping, or are you launching the character to the target on the jump attack? I'm using motion warping as well. All the attacks use some form of motion warping. And when you have no target, for example, motion warping will match your thumbstick where you're pointing it. But when you do have a target within a specific range, it'll start kind of pushing you towards that target. Oh, my bad. Yes, sorry about the ads. But yeah. Yeah, motion warping is really, really useful. Pretty straightforward. The tricky part is really kind of calculating the location you want to go to. But yeah. So let's figure out what we need to do. So card template, maybe it needs to be 256 by... What's the next interval up? 256, not 512, 384. Maybe that's a good size. Yeah, weakest skills, math, true, same. I feel like this might be too big. It looks goof. No, I'm kidding. Thanks. Because obviously I gotta make sure it stays centered as you go. Because there's other aspects that need to be shown on this UI as well, and that's where the cluttering might come in. Because how I would want it, more or less, is like I would want can I just breathe draw a pen? Like I would want your, oh my god, I would want your cards, right? This is your hand. But then I would want, I want you to visibly be able to see your deck. And maybe some number representing how many are in there. And then I would also want like a graveyard, also with some sort of representation of a number there, of how many are in there. And maybe it can have, little numbers next to it outlining how many of each kind of type, maybe, because if we have mechanics that are involved with, saying, okay, if you have 4 ability cards in your graveyard, something happens, you know what I mean? So it might be important. 10 to 20% times smaller. Okay. That makes sense, I think. And then, yeah, so that's that. And then up top, like when you activate an ability card and the ability card is active, maybe it can be smaller and be somewhere up here. Or, somewhere up here. And maybe we would want to have some trap cards potentially here. But that we would need to have some UI representation for your health or something, so you can kind of keep track of that, because when this UI is up, we are kind of hiding that information a little bit. maybe it's redundant. But then I would also, while you're here, also kind of show the AI's cards that are possibly in play. Pixels, I got a cat on the keyboard, hard to type. I mean, that's a good problem to have, having a kitty on the keyboard. Just saying. So yeah, that's more or less what I want this UI to look like. And so, you know, every time you get a card, it gets added to your hand. And obviously, like, I feel like you can only have a max number of cards in your hand. So if you already have 3 cards, you can't draw a new one. You have to play it, or you can choose maybe to just discard it. So, you know, we gotta just iron this stuff out. It's actually a cool system, though. I hope so. I see a lot of promise in it, and when I tell it to people, they like the direction of it. My concern really is just with responsivity. It's like, is it going to be much fun to go from, like, you know, fast-paced movement like this, you know, boom, boom, boom. Oh, okay, let me play this card and then come back, and then, you know, you jump back into it. I think so. Like, especially if we add, like, you know, a lot of flavor and juice, as they call it, to the actions, and that the actions are immediate, they're clear. I think there's that potential. Okay, so I can reproduce this bug at the moment. Let me see if I can figure this out. Melee base. It's very fluid. Thanks. Are you winning, son? Yeah, all we're doing is winning, Bill. That's all we ever do. Do it one more time so we get here. Fine. Move. Continue. Here. Feel like I think I gotta just do vector from target to owner, right? Am I maybe just not doing the right direction vector? Let's see how badly I mess this up. Okay, so still the same. We'll see if this breaks again. But yeah, we go bam, 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 like, oh, okay. Play card, bam. I gotta get rid of, let's look a little bit on, let's look a little bit on IMCs. At least on Gamepad for now. So we have, yeah, default stuff, so. Ability cord, yeah. So we have card select, activate card, switch to card mode. There's the one. Which one is heavy attack, movement, ability corded? I think it's ranged attack, right? Well, yeah. We'll take care of that for now. And then, yeah, there's magic stance, which is this one. So let's take that out. So that should fix this issue where I'm going into this other mode. So I'm just doing this, boom, 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 activate that. Now it's in my keyboard, you know, my ability bar on the right-hand side. We got this thing, boom, boom, boom. Go back, okay, let me play these two. Boom, 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 boom. You know, something like that. So it could be a lot of high octane. I'm running into a smoothness problem. It's not entirely smooth and consistent yet. My combos are feeling janky. Okay. Huh. So potentially part like what I think. Obviously, the animations that I have are from an animation set, so that they're meant to blend well. But an aspect of the combos that you have blend in times and blend out times. You have what's the word? Because I'm also using like input buffer, and with the input buffer, you can kind of mark when the next attack can come out. So you can kind of mark up the animation appropriately. Can't tell if this is happening again. I feel like every time I use this attack, yeah. I feel like the air attack is making me shoot off to the side a little bit more. Yeah. Wonder why. That's weird. Yeah, motion warping and blending time will definitely fix it. And yeah, I would also recommend looking into input buffering. I wonder why my air attack is causing this issue. Does the air attack like mess up my pivot point? I don't know. That's weird. Maybe I can draw sphere. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. This warping issue is awful to me. I have an input and animation input buffering set up. Okay, perfect. So disregard my recommendation. We got this guy, right? Let's go slow motion. So yeah, it's telling us to go there, right? I should make this sphere maybe a little smaller so we could see specifically where it's showing me without like. So we go here. It's always in front, and then I do a jump attack. Now it's slightly off center. So no, it's a good one. Not a lot of people know about it, so it's a good catch. Yeah, I'd say so. You see how it's like slightly off center. I feel like it's getting worse over time. Okay, see, its pivot is all fucked up. That's weird. Let me just take a picture of that as a record. Let's play again. Yeah. So something funky Something funky is going on. Would it be the hit reaction? Phase instigator does that. On Finite, is it the root motion that's messing it up? Let's just not do root motion for a second. I think we'll just get hit reactions in place. It seems like it's still happening. Is it only with jump attacks? So let's make sure we're not crazy. Let's do something interesting here. Let's grab the dummy. Yeah, I don't know if it's a motion warping thing that's happening. Let's grab event tick. On tick, let's draw a sphere. Let's say get root. Oh, I guess I could say get actor location, right? 50 or 40, whatever. Duration will be delta seconds. Thickness could be 1. We can make it red or whatever. And we should be able to see over time if this changes. Okay, I think I made it too big, too small. Or is it because the duration is so quick that it's just not visible? That's weird. Let me just confirm I'm not crazy. Yeah, start sticking. Yeah. Sure. So there it's drawing. Okay, fine. So we're seeing it there, right? So all right, my air attacks are doing something funky. What? Wow. Or air attack. Yeah, sorry, we're not doing UI now. We're focusing on this. Like, it seems like maybe I am. Try to do it in real life and see how much control you have. What? So GA melee in air. Are we doing anything so significantly different? Because it's really just, changing movement modes. And that's it. I wish I could do my air attack in real life. I can't even jump. I mean, does this eventually also... Eventually? Oh... I think I know. I'm adding a local offset. So the little shake that's happening. Yeah. Okay. So that was the problem. Because I wanted to have like a little bit of a vibration of like the mesh and everything, but it seems like because I was just doing the mesh was being offset and mispositioned compared to the rest of the actual capsule. So maybe the cached relative thing is just wrong. Maybe I could just do the whole actor location or something. This is probably a bad way to do it, right? But don't you want to offset world, not local? I mean, not really. I don't think it matters, but maybe you're right. Let's see. Seems to be working okay. And we're getting the shake. Seems better. So yeah, it just seems like doing it by the mesh was just not the play. Oh yeah, we can plug things in now again with here, face instigator. Hopefully this is okay. Yeah, I think it's because maybe the shakes are kind of fucking it up because he is moving in like really bad ways. We could try world offset. Just to see if we get better results. Because it's kind of jumping all over the place. Maybe is there maybe a better way to safeguard? So set actor, no, set relative location, I think, or no, or offset, right? Maybe we could still do this with these values, but then maybe we can then set relative location back to 0 when it's done. Because it shouldn't be anything but 0 at that point. No. Let's look at the mesh. So we do have minus 195, right? So maybe we actually do something. So is it keeping it now? Looks like it. And I think that's the solution, but I feel like I want to check what the what is the cached value here? Okay, so relative location, maybe that's not what I need. What other locations do I need to get? Get absolute location, get relative location, get world location. It doesn't seem like this is the data we need. So I guess hard setting it to like this value works because that's what like the base transform is, you know, negative 195. But I feel like should be a way of doing that. Hey, thanks for the follow there, much appreciated. You want to shake your actor, right? Yeah, exactly. I want there to be a vibration kind of thing, not like a animation, but just some kind of vibration. Maybe I could do like get. Maybe relative transform. No. Just want to see if this value would be accurate. Ever. Okay, so we got someone from Kick who is spamming. So bye-bye. Banned. I just want to see if we'll get 0, 0, minus 95. And we are. Okay, so maybe this is actually the better value. And then we would just pass this in. I do wonder if this value changes over time as I'm hitting it and interrupting it, maybe? Let's check. Yeah, so it gets displaced every time. Maybe it's safer to just do the Z. I'm gonna put this like this. Needs to be safeguarded better. Can lead to incorrect offset between actor location and mesh location. So we can come back to that later. But yeah, in general, it seems like it's better. So let's get rid of this draw. We don't need it, we don't need tick. Yeah, somewhere in the hit reaction I have face instigator, reaction activation. There should be something here. Hey, Lucas Designs, much appreciated. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? I need to look at the base of this component. I forget what we're doing to have enemy face. So there's face instigator is one thing. We're just doing that. Oh, I know what I'm doing. It's not the facing. That's wrong. It's this. The world direction, right? Hello, friend. I'm from Brazil. I speak a little English. Well, welcome all the way from Brazil. I appreciate you popping in. The more the merrier, you know? I don't remember exactly what needs to happen. Guess I could do what like get avatar actor, get forward vector, that. I think this will kind of keep the pushing here. Wrong way. Okay, so just the forward. Sometimes I do Unreal Lives too, creating scenarios. Okay, what kind of scenarios do you work on? Is it like gameplay, or is it like cinematics, or is it a little bit of both? I am cinematic and previs designer. Okay. Yeah, so definitely don't want the forward vector. What do we want though? I guess the look at? I guess I could do it from here, right? Yeah, enter location. Alright, look at. I guess I could just do unit direction, right? So I think that's right. I always get it backwards. Maybe the strength could just be 750 this time. And they should be pushed the right way. There you go. Hopefully that will remain consistent. So we can go like this. Bam, bam. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So that part's fixed. Thank God. That was kind of annoying me low-key in the back of my mind. So I'm sure we're going to have to fix a bunch of stuff later on. But let's get back into the UI side of things. Had an ad. Maybe I should reduce the number of ads. It seems kind of crazy. I don't know if I could do anything right now while it's live. Monetization ads. Let's look. So how many minutes of ads do you want to run per hour? So I said 3 minutes. Let's go down to 1 minute. I think that'll save. Yeah. Probably better. No, it's been 2 in an hour. It's not bad. Well, I think it could be better. Streaming isn't my full-time job, I don't really need the ad revenue too bad, So we're doing that, bam, bam, boom, boom, boom. So yeah, I gotta figure out next how to keep things centered. Oh, sorry, bro, can you start the C++ course tutorial? I wish. I've been super lazy. I'm working on I'm trying to work on the actual game rather than just the tutorial, so apologies. And that kind of thing. I should also probably when you're in this UI, if you're playing keyboard and mouse, we'd want to show the mouse and make it visible. And because we're just simply hiding the UI, it kind of keeps your position and everything, which is nice. Eventually, we're going to have to do some camera work as well. But, bam. I'm not 100% sure. Oh yeah, I gotta also do input stuff. Let's close out of melee stuff. So we have card template. So we were thinking, what, 10 to 20% smaller. So what is 2d6 times 0.8, 204. Let's round up to 205, I guess. And then 384. Seven. See how this looks. Yeah. I think for the amount of stuff that we want to show on screen, I think this makes sense. I also don't like that I'm missing sometimes. Let me look at my melee combo real quick. If I could turn back time to the good old days. I am seeking my first international professional experience. Do you have any tips for me? I'm currently enhancing my portfolio. And then Twisted Gamers from YouTube says looks cool. Thank you very much. So when it comes to tips, I mean, I'm not, a previs kind of person, so I don't know. But if you're looking for are you wanting to work in video games or like something else? Because if you're working in video games, then you should definitely take into consideration when you make your previses, gameplay mechanics, making them look interesting in a previs level, and kind of understanding how to work with designers to get those things, like to accomplish those things. That's my biggest piece of advice, I should say. So let's look at our traces. So we got that. They could probably be bigger, just to kind of make sure I hit shit. So I think I have a trace data table. So maybe sphere radius can be 30. Maybe trace density 2. I feel like the third hit is maybe why we do it anyway. So curious, why store your traces in a data table? It's a kind of a force of habit because I can't speak for it, but it's easier to make bulk changes. Obviously I'm not working on a team, but if I were, it would be nice that it's basically separating the data from the asset. So instead of having to go into here, find the melee trace, update the parameters this way, we can make bulk edit changes within a data table. And so I could say, oh, okay, I want my melee traces to be 40 instead of 30. I don't have to then go okay, so why data table versus data assets? I don't know. Like data table, I think is just clearer to read in these contexts. I guess it's more like a pick your poison. Maybe there's a more nuanced answer to that I just don't know. That's a great bit for short or something, of like a YouTube short or something. Maybe. Yeah, I definitely need more content for YouTube shorts, so maybe I will do that. Thanks for the suggestion, Casper. So where was I? Yeah, the third hit of the combo I feel is not so. So we're doing this spin, right? We're going wham. We're not clamping any of the motion, right? And this is translation, this is rotation. I feel like I'm just not getting there fast enough. Yeah, when I do the traces here, by an editor. Now we're doing whoosh. Maybe my end socket point needs to be a little further. Oh, not further, but sword preview. Look at SM sword. I'm gonna have to update that eventually too, but sword. Because for our game, we're not worried too much about accuracy. So we go bam, bam, bam. Maybe my offset can be a little closer, because yeah, the offset. I think what's wrong is the offset could possibly become because like the way the offset's calculated, I don't think I'm following the component, and so like I'll calculate the offset while the guy's still moving away. So maybe when I am within range, I need to warp target follow component, and then I need to get information about the target, which is this one. So I am doing it for transform. No, I'm doing it for rotation. Maybe I need to do it also for transform. Not sure why I took that away. So now we should be able, even though he's moving, we're kind of keeping up with it. But because we're using that, the location and rotation doesn't really matter, and we need to calculate the offset elsewhere, right? If I were to make this 100 or something, I should be getting warp offset. Like I'm 1 meter away. I would have to also turn on warp. Is my warp target stuff on? I think I have too many things on right now to really read what's going the F on. Yeah, so the warp target doesn't. Yeah, so it doesn't look like it's offsetting correctly. And our music kind of stopped, so let's put something else on. If I were to make this 200, hopefully we would see something. So it doesn't look like we're getting much of an offset at all. We could probably bring this back down to 110 because I think we're solving the problem in an incorrect way. We don't really need trace data open again. I'm gonna make this a big ass number. Let's see what happens. It doesn't seem, but no matter what we do, we're not really getting much of an offset. I wonder if it's also involved with this. Go YOLO, for sure. And now our motion warping is all kind of messed up for the jump attack. But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why I'm not getting the appropriate offset. Maybe that's why I did it the way that I did. I pass in the location stuff again. I'm not consistently kind of getting the target. We could try other angles here. Okay. Something happened. So maybe we could do world space, and then let's combine this again. And I say like 100, 100. I guess this is something, right? There's get distance to. Can I get? There's nothing about direction. Get vector. There's distance to, velocity. I feel like, so if the warp target is built too late after animation starts, it causes visual lag. I suppose so. Okay, so this is now our warp target's being constructed correctly. Except the Z is all fucked up. Okay, so maybe the vector from on our target is messed up. Because yeah, the results are so different. So maybe we do want world space, and then we would do 0. Maybe this one doesn't need to be anything. I recombine. So can you follow me back? It'll help me a lot. I'll be here following your production. Yeah, why not? Why not? There you go. Yeah. So essentially, the first time. That first hit doesn't really make too much sense, so we just gotta make sure we get this kind of location offset correctly. So what I think we could do is maybe we have to get actor location. Unless we could do targets forward vector. I wonder if that makes a difference. So we're getting interesting results with everything but vector from target to owner. So maybe I have to be the avatar actor in order for that to work. Let's find out. Yes, okay. There you go. I should be able to reset default value. Maybe I can pass this in like this, and then I can pass this in like that. Kind of nuke stuff around. Everything seems normal. Maybe we don't need that anymore. So there you go. Now the warp target's being constructed pretty good. I don't think we'll miss. We'll see. Do air attacks look okay? No. Why would they? I think what we need to do is an air. We need to probably override this. So event print string anymore. Should be able to quickly do a diff. Just grab what it used to look like. I hope. Yeah. No, air attack should look better. Yeah. There we go. So hopefully now we can call it a day with this motion warping, maybe. So we go like, oh, bam, 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 go car 2, go there, boom, boom, boom. Oh. So it seems like after they get destroyed, so yeah, I guess I would have to cancel the following because like I would have to remove the warp target probably if they die. Because what happens is, and maybe I'll have to do a couple things because obviously when they die and the warp target follow component becomes inaccurate. But yeah, again, I'm also missing again sometimes. Maybe my side, the warp target distance needs to be smaller, or because there's a hitch or something. Do like 120 or something for now. Get a little bit smaller. What will we need? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, some safety measure to say, you know, with the target. I have to check if when the current target becomes like null or something, to like cancel the warp target or something. So I wonder if I could say like assign on destroyed. No. Just to see if this will work. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm just gonna see if this will work. So remove all warp. No, I need the component. Remove all warp targets. Maybe a brutish way of doing it, but we want to just double check. So just attack it a bunch. Boom, 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 boom. Play our 2 cards. Now let's see if maybe that worked. I don't know. But yeah, that I don't know how to properly date that. But maybe it's okay. He got wrecked. There it is. I kind of yeeted myself out of there. Well, let's just check now. Should probably give myself more damage. Yeah, that seems to have fixed it, but I think not sure where to best do it. But yeah, there's this whole like, assets none stuff that I need to do as well. I need to clean up a lot of this stuff. Like maybe this also needs to be moved to things. I don't know. Maybe move to base C++, base C++ ability. Yeah, there's no I don't think in base there is switch offs, but like is that something that the motion working component has? Yes, it does have switch off conditions. But I don't know how to really use it in this context in vanilla motion working. We have a different setup somewhere else. Is there switch off? Oh, just didn't make the reference. So blueprint class, all classes. Switch off motion working blueprintable condition. Test. So BP check. So yeah, so this is there. So what else can I do with switch offs? So there's add switch off condition. I can't put is there a create switch off? Yes. So there is this stuff. Okay. That's gonna make my life easier. I thought this was in vanilla C++, not vanilla C, in the vanilla component, because I thought, because I work at CD Projekt for a while, like we were working with the stuff and creating this tech, so I didn't realize it was on the latest versions of Unreal. So now that I know we have switch off conditions, things are gonna get crazy. So we can create our own custom switch off that can just wait for something, right? So create switch off. There's angles, there's distance, but we can also do like a tag, I guess. So we can have the death tag and we can switch it off based off that. All right, but yeah, I'll have to finish our stream in a minute. But just for the sake of trying something, we can have like a gameplay tags. And this could be like a this could be a tag query. We'll expose it. And then for example, have this test one. And then we would do, cast to test. And we do tags, tag. Well, this is a tag query, right? So, I wish it would be exposed like this, unless expose on spawn. No, we tried. So we cast a test, set tags, but we could ideally do this, and we would have the tag query here, pass it in, and this would be like the most likely the translation work target name that we would care about. So what you can do is only on this one really you would care about. You can have a switch off. And you could do different types, right? You could do cancel follow component, which we would do. Or we could just cancel warping entirely. Those are the kind of main options that we can work with. So, for example, so owning actor is our avatar actor. And our target actor is our current target. And then, the tag query, let's just say any tags match for now. And let's give him burn. Status burn, right? Well, that's effect.asset tag burn. We're looking for the appropriate one. Use a less than equal comparison or int. Yeah, you could do health as well. I feel like maybe I'm gonna be using gameplay tags for these things anyway, so I will have like a death tag. So I feel like using a tag query might be better. I don't know. So for the sake of doing it, let's do let's do pause root motion. Because what will happen is if this is correct, so we would get ability system component, get ability tags, or just get tags, get own tags, query, if it matches it, we want to switch off, right? Now I should be able to debug this as well. Switch off conditions, yes. So this should tell me a little bit about the switch off. So if I do that, you're going to see the switch off condition. Debug info, extra debug info. You're seeing that it's false. But then if I were to, I'm probably still a little slow. No, this is the right speed. So if I were to play the card that applies burn, oh, that's this one. So now he's burning, right? And now you're seeing my switch off condition is true. And because it's true, I was playing everything in place. So you're seeing it there, it's red, it's true. Yes, the debug seems to be built in as well. This is exactly how we're using it there. And so because it's true, I say pause root motion, and so I was not moving. Maybe I could better demonstrate that again from scratch. So these two cards. So now, because he's burning, see, I'm not moving because I'm pausing root motion. So I believe this is exactly what I need to do. And maybe I can also make a tutorial about that and switch off conditions. So I'm going to disconnect that for now. Rework this to be clear on what tags we want to be using. And I'll need to rename this one condition. So I can always recreate this pretty easily, so I will just delete it. We don't need it right now. Cool. Force delete. That would be great. I gotta go. Have a good one. I'll be back. Yeah, thanks for stopping in. Kuro Pebbles, it's much appreciated. No problem with all that. Thanks for participating and hanging out. Connect the name variable. Use target state to the input. Target state is dead, stunned, active, dodge, and like if the name is dead. Ideally, you would want to avoid using just, I guess, F names or strings, only because if something changes with how you're naming stuff, could run into breaking your game more easily. So I think tags are a little more safe in that regard. But I like the thinking. I like the mindset. So yeah, we can come back to that. I'm so glad switch off conditions are a thing. I thought that wasn't a thing in vanilla of Unreal with the plugin, so I'm glad that's there. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end it for today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. It's all very much appreciated. If you're watching and not already following me here on Twitch, a follow would be much appreciated. Anyone watching from Kick, a follow there as well. And if you're watching from YouTube, a subscription there would be great. Feel free to always join the Discord. We try, there's a little more people joining slowly over time. Hopefully we get more discussions going. It's all things Unreal Engine game development, so make sure to pop in there. We'll probably stream again maybe on Sunday. I don't know. See. But thanks again, everybody, for watching. Much appreciated. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon.